welcome back to my channel. My name is Haylie and I decided to get my crap together. My life and my house have become an absolute disaster, so today you are deep cleaning my disaster of a kitchen with me. So let's go ahead and get started. To begin, I'm clearing off the counters and removing anything that doesn't belong in here, putting all the food back in the pantry, and then I'm also clearing off all of the appliances like the toaster, the coffee maker, just so that I can have a clean start because I am reorganizing some of my cabinets and wiping out the insides of them, and so I just wanted a clean slate. You can't really tell because the granite does a great job of hiding things, but my counters were absolutely disgusting. I knew that I would be filming this video, and so for the last week I had just completely neglected doing anything in my kitchen. Everything was just thrown in there. That became the catch-all space for all of our crap, and so this task actually took me all night to do. I started at about 5 p.m. and didn't finish until 3 a.m. the next day, or 3 a.m. that night, so I guess technically the next day, but you can see how disgusting our counters were, and I'm so embarrassed by how gross our kitchen is, but that's life sometimes. So I am just clearing off all of that dirt and dust and gunk, and you'll see I actually wipe the counters off twice. Once now and then once when I'm completely finished, just because I really wanted them to be super clean. And to do this, I'm just taking my Fabuloso lavender scent cleaner. I love that stuff. It works really well and it's really cheap, but I also don't have any kids, and so if I did, I would probably use something more natural, but right now I am balling on a very tight budget, so that's what we're using. Our dishwasher hasn't been working very well lately, and so we've decided just to start washing our dishes by hand. It's just the two of us, and it just doesn't make sense to use the dishwasher, and it actually just adds extra work. So what I'm doing now is unloading the dishes that were in there, and then I am deep cleaning it with some vinegar and dish soap. And then I did end up hand washing the dishes. Brayden and I did together the next day, and so that's why they're there one second, gone the next. I didn't feel like filming it. It was a lot of dishes by the time that we were done with everything, so we just did those by hand, and then we're going to continue to do them by hand from here on out, and maybe just use the dishwasher as a drying rack. I know it looks like my dog is like putting his nose against our freshly cleaned dishes, but he's actually a good 2 to 4 inches away from the actual dishes as he's smelling them. That's why I didn't really mind. He knows to give me some space when I'm in the kitchen. He just likes to help out, I guess. I don't know. But as you can see, as I'm unloading, I'm also putting things over in this bag on the floor here because there are some things that I decluttered along the way. And there are also some dishes that did not get cleaned, so I'm putting them into the sink. Also, the outfit change, I decided to put my pajamas on because I was getting tired and it was getting late. As you can tell by my posture, I progressively got more and more hunched over because my back started to hurt and I just was ready to be done. But it took me so long to get everything done because it was so gross in there. I'm pouring about a half a cup of vinegar into the bottom of the dishwasher and then running it for about 5 minutes, and then I'm opening it back up and adding in the Dawn dish soap. You definitely don't want to add more than maybe like a tablespoon or 2. I added way too much and this is what happened, and it was a big mess, but at least my floors got clean. So be careful with that. I really like to cook, and our spice cabinet had become so overflown that we had to put some of it into this drawer, which was not a very good way to organize these things. It just was a huge mess, and so I'm emptying the drawer and the cabinet out and reorganizing and throwing away any spices that are either expired or empty, because we did have a lot of empty bottles that just didn't get thrown away. Isn't that so annoying? But I'm mostly the person who cooks, so I have no one else to blame but myself. We eventually want to get rid of this vent hood. As you can see, the paint is kind of chipping off of it and it's just really old and dingy, and put in a over-the-range microwave instead. But we're having trouble finding one that is shallow enough because of the above cabinet that's above the vent hood. It's a little bit lower than normal, and so any microwave we've found has become too low at the bottom, so that you can't really reach pots that are on the back burners, and that's definitely a safety hazard. And so we're still on the hunt for one that would fit this space perfectly. We might end up having to scratch that cabinet altogether and maybe just like put in a smaller one. We don't really know yet, and so for now we are just dealing with the old dingy vent hood. I have tried to make a really pretty cabinet in the past, I've tried putting my spices in pretty containers, I've tried pretty labels, I've tried the little 3-tiered trays to make them Pinterest worthy so that you can see what you're grabbing. And what happens is, if you have a spice that isn't quite that full, and you go to grab one from the back, you knock over the spice in the middle, which knocks over all the other spices, and it just doesn't work. And so we have found that pretty doesn't necessarily mean better. And so for this cabinet, it's not going to be the most aesthetically pleasing, but it's going to be functional, and we will be able to find our spices and put them back where they belong, which to me is way more important than beauty. So in this case, I am putting all of our seasoning salts towards the right because we don't reach for those very often. I don't like to add a ton of salt to my food, only enough so that it tastes good. And when I create my own spice blends and add my own salt to things, then I can control how much salt is in our food. Whereas when I use a pre-mixed seasoning salt, it's a little bit harder to control that. And so the seasoning salts and stuff are to the right. In the middle, we have our spices like cayenne pepper, turmeric, ginger, things like that. And then to the left, we have our herbs because I use the herbs and spices. And then I have a whole entire row dedicated to garlic powder and onion powder because I use those in pretty much everything. And then on the top, we have this Lazy Susan that we will be getting rid of as soon as all those spices and herbs are out of them. Because it just takes up a lot of space. And then our oils. This makes the most sense based on how we cook and the types of foods that we cook, and see, it's pretty easy to grab something and then put it right back where it goes. And since they're grouped by item, we know where everything is. So now I am cleaning this cabinet above the range. You can see there's a ton of disgusting grease. So what I'm doing is taking Dawn dish soap and a sponge, and then I just scrub that off and then wipe it with a wet towel to get all of that soap off. And bam, you have a clean counter. I have tried to do this with just cleaner and it just doesn't work. The Dawn dish soap, preferably the blue one, is by far the best way to remove grease from, wooden cabinets or anything that doesn't require something super strong or that would be ruined if you used something super strong. So definitely recommend that. And I am actually using that method on the faces of my cabinets as well, and it makes a huge, huge difference. My fridge was so gross. We have an all dirt yard and 4 dogs, and so that's why it's so dusty. I actually dust it off once a month, and this is still what happens. It's so gross, but I just wiped that off, and here's what it looks like now. And then it was time to clean the counters again, because after pulling that stuff out, the spices, making sure my cabinets were clean, it was time to clean the counters once more. So I am taking my Fabuloso cleaner. I just mixed it in this empty Comet bottle. It's not the Comet cleaner, in case you're confused by that, and just cleaning off all the dirt and any food that fell whenever I was cleaning. I didn't have enough storage on my memory card to film the entire kitchen cleaning process, and so there are some things that I did end up cleaning that you did not see in this video. But throughout the night, I went through an entire roll of paper towels and 8 microfiber cloths and 4 dish rags while cleaning my kitchen. That is how disgusting my space was. I pretty much cleaned out all of my rags and towels just to clean this one room. That is incredibly embarrassing. I don't even know what to say to that. Open shelves always get so dusty, so if you're considering them for your kitchen cabinets, definitely don't do that. It's not worth it, to be honest. I don't even have them as my actual cabinets, and they are kind of annoying. So I'm cleaning off everything and then just dusting the shelves, and then they look a million times better, but it is kind of a pain in the butt, so. I was able to clean my utensil holder and my coffee maker at the same time by running some vinegar and water through the coffee maker all the way until the holder of water at the back was completely empty, and then I dumped out the water from the utensil holder and then ran it again until the water holder in the back was completely empty, with just empty water to clear out the vinegar. The vinegar kills any bacteria or most bacteria inside your coffee maker, and then I'm just taking a paper towel with that vinegar water mixture and just wiping the outside, and this looks a million times better. And then I just swept and mopped and put everything back, and man, my kitchen looks a million times better than it did before. I don't know how we were living like that, even though it was just for a week. I am very embarrassed by the before, but I am very pleased with the after. I hope that this video gave you some inspiration to clean your own home. If you want to see more videos of me getting my crap together, then don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!